What's going on, guys, and welcome back to the channel. Since I was a kid, and even up until now, I've spent my life visiting theme parks all around the world to gain exposure to them. That being said, I've seen some pretty cool and innovative stuff in the amusement industry, but at the same time have seen some not so cool and maybe not as much innovative stuff anymore. And of these comes one today that I'm going to be talking about that I'm sure many of you are all too familiar with, and that is going to be none other than the Vekoma Boomerang. Now, they do have a pretty negative stigma, and I know many of you are probably thinking, why would he ever cover Vekoma Boomerang? Well, the truth is, the model has a pretty fascinating history to begin with, and at the same time, there have been a plethora of manufacturers around the world that have actually knocked it off and created some pretty cool things themselves. And in specific, one of these roller coasters has one of the craziest head chopper moments I've simply ever seen whilst I've been an enthusiast, and I found that to be pretty intriguing. So with all that being said, I present the story and history of the Vekoma Boomerang, as well as its knockoff and crazy head chopper coaster, Shark Attack. The name referred to by many as the Boomerang is a roller coaster model designed primarily by Dutch roller coaster manufacturer Vekoma, but over the years it's been knocked off by various companies and is now more so just a layout type rather than model. The name of the roller coaster comes from a hunting weapon used by indigenous Australians, and as of now, there are over 60 worldwide, including originals and knockoffs. Though not particularly well received, the model was developed in the early 1980s and debuted in 1984 at 4 different theme parks around the world, including La Ronde, Rafaela Padilla, Moraes Piers, and Bellewaerde Park. Consisting of a single train with 7 cars that can carry up to 28 people as well, the ride begins when a catch car pulls the train backwards from the station and up the first lift hill. It then passes through that station after being dropped and enters 2 inversions in the form of a cobra roll. It then proceeds to traverse a vertical loop and engages a second lift, generally one with a chain, before being dropped backwards and redoing the entire layout. This makes for a total ride duration of 1 minute and 48 seconds, 6 inversions, and just an overall cheap, size-effective extreme roller coaster, making it a popular option for theme parks of all sizes. That being said, many other manufacturers had taken notice to this, and a couple knockoffs were made, most recently in 2014, with the addition of Beijing Shibolai Amusement Equipment's Boomerang coaster model. And in specific, we're going to be highlighting one of the 4 they made today, Shark Attack. Opening in 2017 at Hakosi in China, this coaster always intrigued me since my discovery of the roller coaster database years ago, and though not unique, has a very interesting history. And I'm also hoping to answer a question left in the comments on another video about how different manufacturers rip each other off, so that's kind of my inspiration for that. But here's the full story. In 2011, 3 years before Beijing Shibolai unveiled their knockoff of the Vekoma Boomerang, 2 of their engineers visited Happy Valley, Sichuan, one of a chain of Happy Valleys that had an operating Vekoma Boomerang since 2009. For a week or so, the 2 took turns jotting down loose notes, similarly to what Walt Disney did at Efteling when drawing inspiration for Disneyland after they got insufficient information and went back to headquarters. Though instead of attempting to draw inspiration, the company knew they well intended to knock the ride off and began deconstructing the engineering behind the ride. And considering Beijing Shibolai had done many coasters prior to this, it really wasn't that difficult for them once a few basic stats had been established. By copying the layout, track, design, and support structure, even the trains to an extent, a ride was developed that was in fact nearly identical to that of the Vekoma Boomerang. Though, it couldn't be a complete knockoff as a few things were indeed changed, most notably a custom winch used on the second lift rather than a chain. This actually created a good deal of extra downtime on the coaster though, and is one of the few flaws in the recreation of it besides some wonky transitions. Regardless, 4 were manufactured and sent off, and the one in today's video, Shark Attack, was given a heavy theme and interactive elements, including a gnarly head chopper moment on a bridge through the vertical loop that it has. This one in specific has also undergone a couple of various changes as well, and just overall in my opinion has a pretty interesting history in the design and process behind it. Regardless, I can't say I approve of the fact that they knocked off another company, but it was fairly impressive how well they were able to do it, and the theme is pretty cool. Still though, I know at the end of the day it's just another boomerang, but beyond that, I hope you all learned a little something new about the history of the boomerang model, and how manufacturers recreate others' ideas. Because it's Christmas break, I am also sorry this was a shorter video, but regardless, I felt it was pretty cool, and if you did like it, please feel free to like and subscribe, because that really does help us out. Stay tuned for another video coming in a couple days as well, and feel free to catch up with us on Instagram for those daily posts. Until then, it is December 30th, and so I guess we will see you all next year. So until then, and thanks for my little sister for bringing me that quote, we'll see you all there. See ya!